Yo, what's going on? This is the Jay Cartere Podcast, and I am your host, Jay Cartere. In this episode, we are going to be tackling my proposition. I was going to say question, but it's not really a question. It's more of a statement, which I'm going to be discussing. And that statement is anyone can be successful if you work hard enough. So we're going to be talking about that, and we're going to be discussing it, looking at it from a few different viewpoints. And yeah, that's coming up after these short messages. This episode of the Jay Cartere Podcast is sponsored by me at growonyoutube.com. If you want to grow your YouTube gaming channel, then growonyoutube.com is the place to go. I just released my new book, A Gamer's Guide to Greatness, which will show you how to grow your YouTube gaming channel and turn it into a business. You can get that at growonyoutube.com/guide. If you want to grow your YouTube gaming channel and turn it into your career, make a full-time living, become a full-time YouTube gamer, actually build a business around it, then this book is for you. If you just want to live off AdSense and become a big YouTuber and be broke, then this book is not for you. It's not for anyone who wants overnight success or anything like that. But go to growonyoutube.com/guide if you think this will be helpful for you. You can see the reviews of happy customers who have purchased the book already and are now using the strategies in there to grow their own YouTube gaming channels. Now, I basically created the book that I wish I would have had when I first started out on YouTube. I've spent a variety of years. I think I started in around 2011, and I did a lot of experiments, a lot of research, a lot of trial and error in order to find out what actually works. So I've distilled all of that and put it into this book, this guide, so you guys can know what works and grow your YouTube gaming channel. I've grown my YouTube gaming channel to over 24,000 subscribers. When this comes out, it'll probably be even more than that. I don't know. It's continually growing. It's always growing, and it's going to continue growing because I know what works. I know what works now, and I've put that in this book to show you what works. And if you want that, go to growonyoutube.com/guide. Now let's get into the episode. So let's get into it. Now, anyone can be successful if they work hard enough. There's a few, well, let me talk about the two main different viewpoints that come into play when you make a statement like this. There is the viewpoint that's more leaning to the right, that's basically like, anyone can just pull themselves up from pull their bootstraps up. I think, what is the saying? I don't even know. Pull themselves up by their bootstraps and become successful. And fair enough, I highly identify with that statement, but there's a few little nuances that are generally not pointed out when someone is coming from this viewpoint. They usually ignore the struggles that people have to go through, the different things that people need to accomplish, and the different ways that people need to go about this in order to actually get to the point where they can pull themselves up from their bootstraps. But there's also another viewpoint on this, which is more from the left, and that's basically saying that, some people just cannot become successful because the system is rigged against them. They need help from the government. They need, we need to give them help as a society, and we need to help people become successful all around. So my personal viewpoint is pretty much in the middle of these two positions. I'm not far right or far left, and I do believe that everyone has the opportunity to become successful. I believe everyone is able to do it. I don't believe everyone is willing to do it. Most people would become successful if it was convenient for them. They would, achieve their goals if it's convenient, but they're not willing to make the sacrifices and put the work in necessary. And from the left, I do believe that people do need help. Like certain people, they just have, you know, a shitty place in life. Like myself, I didn't have a great place in life to get to the point where I'm at now. I was born broke, been broke most of my life, born in basic poverty, didn't have anyone around me who gave me the path to success, who gave me the information that I needed. And it was a hard, long journey. I'm not successful, by the way. I don't believe that I'm a success. I'm not here to say, yo, I'm successful, listen to me. But I do believe that I'm on the way there and that I've learned a lot of things along the way. And I am happy doing what I love every day. And I am achieving my goals consistently and working towards further goals. Like a few months ago, let's say 6 months ago, I was operating at a loss, losing money every month, and now I'm bringing in, I think it's 4 digits a month right about now. I am aiming for that coveted 10K a month, and I think that may happen over the next, 2 years or something as I consistently continue working and continue making more products and expanding my business and that sort of stuff. But I was able to get to this point through consistent hard work and learning and working smart. Like it's not just hard work, it's also smart work. And I do believe that, some people will say, well, hard work doesn't guarantee success. And that's true. If you work hard and you're not working smart, if you work hard, very, very hard, and you're doing stupid things or you're doing things that just don't work, then you're just wasting your time. If you're in a 9-to-5 job, or any job, you work for an employer and you work super hard, that doesn't guarantee any sort of success at all. That's why I really advocate entrepreneurship, because when you're an entrepreneur, the harder you work, the more you make. Generally, it may take years for you to start making that income, but if you put in a lot of hard work, a lot of smart work, and you learn a bunch of stuff, it's not easy, then you will reap those benefits. You'll reap those benefits eventually. If you're working for someone else, then whoever you're working for will reap those benefits. So that's how that works. You can work way longer hours. You can work super, super hard. But if you're working for someone else, there is a glass ceiling on how far you can go. That is just the way it is. Although I wouldn't suggest everyone to jump into entrepreneurship. This is not for everyone. But this is where I'm coming from in terms of being a successful entrepreneur. So we're going to be talking about entrepreneurship here. Now, what I believe the biggest, basically some of the biggest factors and barriers in people's ways to achieving their goals and being where they want in life is, first of all, they don't believe in themselves. A lot of people just don't believe that they have the capability to be successful or to achieve their goals or to get to where they want in life or to do something that they love on a daily basis and be successful at that. When I was trying to build my businesses and trying to pursue my dreams, people around me generally would tell me, go get a job, because they know that getting a job works for them and worked for people that they know. They don't know a lot of people who went into being an entrepreneur or starting a YouTube channel or doing this or doing that. So they can't see that. They can't see that that is a possible thing that will work. And that's a big barrier, because I didn't see that that was a possible thing that would work. When I first started out trying to become a musician, I saw that someone from my school, you may know of him, Chip, he was a successful rapper at the time, successful musician. And I saw that, and I from that, I knew that it was possible to be successful in that field. Now, I didn't know how much work it was going to take and how I was going to get there, but I could see that it was a possibility. I didn't have any entrepreneurs around me or any successful musicians around me personally that I could talk to and be like, hey, how does this work? How do I get here? And that sort of stuff. But I was able to see that someone was able to make it, so why can't I make it? That is my mindset. My mindset is if anyone was able to accomplish something, then I can accomplish it too. I just need to know how to do it. and find my way there. And that is how I look at things. But some people just think that they just don't have the ability to do so. And honestly, if you're at that point and that's how you feel, maybe that's the truth. Maybe you do not have the ability to do so, but I believe in my heart of hearts that everyone has the potential to achieve what they want and to become successful in the field that they want to become successful in if they're willing to make sacrifices, they're willing to put in the work, and they're willing to spend an inordinate amount of time learning. And I think learning is one of the most important factors that goes into this. Now, the school system does not set you up to be a successful entrepreneur. It does not set you up to be successful in any sense of the word. The school system sets you up to be a worker bee. That is what the school system is made to do. It's made for you to learn the basics and for you to go and work a job in a factory. That is what the school system is designed to do. It hasn't been changed since it was implemented to solve that particular problem and to improve and increase the workforce for factories. Now, that is a big disadvantage to anyone who wants to do anything outside the norm and doesn't want to get a regular job. And that's very unfortunate. It's very, very unfortunate. And I don't like that that's the case. That's why I commit so much of my time to trying to educate people and giving them the tools that they need to make a success of themselves. And that's why I'm going to really focus on making a lot of content that's focused around entrepreneurship and the kind. So education, I think that is a big part, apart from, knowing that it's possible, which is also a big part. But education plays into that as well, because you won't know if it's possible unless you actually do the research and you educate yourself. Now, I spend most of my time educating myself and creating content. That is what I do. Some of my time, a very minuscule amount of my time, is spent consuming entertainment, and you got to do that to keep yourself sane. Otherwise, all work and no play makes Jack a very dull boy, and if you've seen The Shining, makes you a bit crazy as well. So I try to have a little bit of a balance, but I very well skew towards educational content. If I'm consuming content, it's usually 9 times out of 10 it's based in education, and I'm trying to learn things. Even if I know what the person's already talking about or what this article is about, it's nice to read it and to reaffirm it in my mind and to gain the insight into how other people explain these things so that I can better do that and better educate people myself. And that's the way I look at it. If you spend most of your time consuming content that is entertainment based, and you don't spend most of your time learning and consuming education, then you're putting yourself at a disadvantage, and it's going to be way harder for you to get to where you want to get to. Now, I have one talent, and that may give me an advantage over some other people. My one talent is the fact that I am able to learn very quickly and I can follow instructions. And I honestly doesn't seem like a talent to me. Just seems like it's just common sense, but common sense is not common. So I'm not going to be ignorant to the fact that some people, find it harder to follow instructions and to retain information and that sort of stuff. And everything else that I've been able to accomplish, everything else that I've been able to get good at is not an innate talent. It's not a special gift from the heavens or anything like that. It's just been a result of hard work. So everything else that I'm able to do is a skill. Audio engineering, skill. Video editing, skill. Making videos, creating content, skill. Marketing, skill. Business, skill. Entrepreneurship, skill. None of those were innate talents. Wasn't born with it. Didn't jump out the womb and I was like, yo, I'm going to start a business. Although I did have an intense passion for being an entrepreneur and creating a business, and that is always what I've wanted to do. So I invested my time into learning more about it and trying things and, doing trial and error. And that is a very good way to learn, by actually doing, and that just gained me experience and made me better at what I wanted to do. But I didn't have a natural knack for anything, I don't believe, although I do think very logically and I'm able to analyze data and all that sort of stuff. So it does help me in that regard. But education is so important. You need to educate yourself to what is possible out there. Like a lot of people coming from the gutter like I did, they don't know what's possible. All they know is what's around them. So if you're in the ends and all you see as a measurement of success is man out here trapping, then that's all you will know. All you know is what's presented to you until you stumble across something new. Because how would you know to search online and be like, okay, how to start a business and how to make digital products and all this sort of stuff? You don't know that until it's introduced to you, until it's presented to you, or until you stumble across it. So that is a very, very big obstacle that people need to overcome. That's why we need to upgrade the education systems. We need to provide more information to people to know that there's different avenues out there. Because as I said before, everyone who's out there, well, not everyone, but a lot of people who's out there in a trap, selling what have you, these individuals are entrepreneurs. They have started their own business. Well, if they're successful at it, some people are just shit at it and they don't know how to, continually make money, and they'll spend all the profit that they earn and fuck up their re-up. But some people are entrepreneurs, and we need to get those people the information to know that they can apply these skills to different means and do this sort of stuff legit and find a better way of living where you don't have to worry about police breathing down your neck and you don't have to worry about other criminals trying to steal your stuff. So education, very, very important. One of the biggest things that I think needs to be addressed, because you can tell, man, yo, pull yourself up by your bootstraps, cuz like anyone can do it. But what if man doesn't know how to do this shit? What's he gonna do? Like, let's be real. He's gonna have a severe disadvantage. So investing in your education is something which I suggest to everyone. Get out there. Ignorance is what's going to hold you back the most. I was talking to my wife today and she's planning to start her new business where she's going to focus more on digital products. She's going to start a website. I'm not going to give too many details away because she may not want me to, but she has been in service-based businesses all her life. Like, she's gone to work for other people. Now she's piercing and she's self-employed through that, but that is a very active source of income, and she's got to work for that money every single day. And I'm not saying, creating a digital product or anything like that, you don't have to work. Of course you need to work, but you can set up systems that allow you to make money more passively and take up less of your time. And I think that is where the power lies, and that is where you can create something which will really, really improve your lifestyle and be very, very advantageous to you in the future. So once you know what you have to do, then it comes down to doing it. Like, a lot of people, they'll watch a video on how to do something, how to set up their website, how to set up their business, how to set up a marketing funnel, how to sell things, and they just won't take action. They won't do anything. And that's the next step. Once you learn what's possible and you learn how to get there, you need to put the work in. And this is where hard work will basically set you apart from the other people, because most people aren't willing to do the hard work. Most people are not. As I said earlier, most people want to be successful as long as it's convenient for them, but they do not want to make the sacrifices necessary to do so. They don't want to cut out the going out on weekends. They don't want to cut out the eating out and going cinema and watching movies and binge watching Netflix series and all this sort of stuff. They don't want to cut that out. They don't want to cut it down. They want to live their life as they're living it, and they want to consume a bunch of entertainment. And fair enough to them. If that's what you want to do, then do you, but don't moan about your situation in life if you're not willing to put that extra work in. You're not willing to work from 9 till 10. You're not willing to continually work towards a specific goal and pivot and adapt and see what works and what doesn't, and be willing to fail and then learn from your failures and turn those into successes, and then what's the word? Compound your successes. Well, that doesn't really work. That doesn't really work. But I mean, focus on those successes and optimize those successes. Because once you succeed at something, now you know what works. Now you can, tweak it a little bit and see if you can make it work a little bit more. You can duplicate it. You can show other people what works. There's so many things you can do once you get to that point and you know what actually works. But usually you start off failing a bunch. And most people, they don't want to deal with that. They don't want to deal with failing. They don't want to deal with the opinions of other people when they fail, which is another big thing that stops people. It's caring about the opinions of others and caring about what other people think of you. That will hurt your progress a lot. I do not give a shit what other people think. I don't care at all what other people think because they don't pay my bills. The only people who I care about their opinions are my customers, because I intend to provide great customer experience and I intend to make sure that my customers are satisfied because they provide income, which then pays my bills. I only care about my customers and the opinions of people who are in my close circle. I don't give a shit about people, strangers online and that sort of stuff. And even when it's there, I still do not care about other people's opinions more than my own. I will not make myself unhappy for the sake of other people and for the sake of pleasing other people. I just won't do that. I won't do that because that is just a terrible thing. I think I had a great quote once. It's a real gem. It's I said something like, why would you die for someone? Because people are like, I die for this person, blah, blah, blah. I don't believe in dying for someone, because after you die for that person, what's going to happen the next time they need you to die for them? Now they're fucked. You just died for this person, but what did they learn from that? That someone would jump in and help them out if they needed it and be a Deus Ex Machina. Is it Deus Ex Machina? Deus Ex something. I've forgotten the term for that. It's a term for in movies where there's a problem and then all of a sudden there's this skeleton key, all fits all sizes type of solution that comes out of nowhere. The hero's in a terrible situation and then all of a sudden someone comes and saves them, or the literal hand of God comes down and changes everything. You can't do that. You can't make people rely on you that much that they don't know how to do things themselves. And that's another thing that I don't agree with if you're coming from the standpoint of on the left, the government needs to help people, the government needs to do all this sort of shit. Yeah, fair enough. The government should help you with your housing costs. The government should help you if you got low income and all that sort of stuff. But the government should be focused on getting you out of that social care system and pushing you towards success, not making you depend on that. And some people, they depend on that. Some people abuse the system. Some people are just lazy, and that is true. And I'm not saying that everyone on benefits is a skiver and lazy and sitting on the couch playing Fortnite and shit like that. Sorry, my headphones just dropped. But there are some people on benefits who are using that as a stepping stone to get out of that situation. And I think that is a necessary safety net, and it does help people out. And I am happy that the country of the UK has that in effect. And I believe it does really, really help people. But I do also believe that there needs to be more education. These people need to be helped to help themselves. That is something very, very important. When people start becoming reliant on the government, that is not a great place to be. I remember when I was going to job seekers. I was going to job seekers to get job seekers allowance, or the job center to get job seekers allowance. I made a blog post on this as well. And the reason I went to job center to get job seekers allowance is because I was broke. I was broke and I needed some income in order to continue to have my bills paid whilst I worked on my business. And there was a program in the job center which was called, I think it's something like new something. I don't even remember what it was, but it was New Enterprise or something like that. And the purpose of this program was to help people who had a business idea or had a business, and to help them realize that. So I applied for that, and I went through to go and deal with that because I had a business. And instead of helping me with that and actually giving me the information that I needed, what ended up happening was I was put on some sort of waiting list before I even got on the program. And in the time before I had got on the program, I was required to continue going to the job center every 2 weeks, which was fair enough. I was called to do that. It was a necessary evil. And then because I had been on Job Seekers for a certain amount of time, waiting on this waiting list, mind you, which would take me off having to search for jobs and all that sort of shit, they actually sent me an email, or I think it was an email, not a phone call or a text or something, saying that I would now, because I had been on Job Seekers for a little while, I would now have to report in 2 days per week to search for jobs. And I had no need to search for jobs. I was not trying to get a job. I was building a business. So to take 2 days per week for me to travel to the job center, which is going to take around, 15 to 20, maybe even 30 minutes, and then to sit in there and wait for my appointment for another 15 to 30 minutes, and then have an appointment for like 15 to 30 minutes, then take that journey back. It's like, 3 hours that I've wasted just sitting around for no good reason. And they wanted me to waste that for their measly, I think it was like, £90 a week or £90 2 weeks. So I don't even remember how much it was, but it wasn't great. And it definitely wasn't worth the money it wasn't worth the time that I was having to dedicate to it. And it would take away from me actually building my business. So it seemed like these rules were put in place. I think they were put in place to stop skivers and people who just wanted to sit down on their ass and get job seeker money. Sorry, my alarm went off, which is fair enough, yeah? But these rules were affecting someone like myself who actually wanted to make a success of myself. I didn't want to be on Job Seekers Allowance. That wasn't my goal. I never wanted to stay on Job Seekers Allowance. I didn't want to deal with that at all. But I wanted to use that as a stepping stone to pay my bills while I worked on my business, to actually become a taxpayer and contribute to the economy. And these restrictions that they put in place would stop me from doing that and impede my progress to do that. So shit like that needs to be changed. There should be nothing that impedes people's progress to move from the social, I don't think it's social security, but the social care that the government provides, and move to becoming a self-made individual. There should be a process that helps you there and is very focused on doing that. And I think that needs to be implemented ASAP. There needs to be more programs for entrepreneurship, more programs for small businesses, more focus around that, and more support for that, so people can help themselves and not rely on the government. And it seems like, forcing people to come in every 2 weeks, well, not every 2 weeks, every 2 days a week, and up in this frequency. Fair enough if you think someone's a skiver, do that, but have a process where people can show that they're actually working on their business or they're working towards something, so that they can get some leniency and not have to waste their time doing this bullshit. Like, why am I searching for a job when I have applied to this program to start a business? Why? How does that make any sense? It does not. They contradict each other. Why would I get a job and start a business at the same time? Getting a job would take time away from me starting a business. Although, I would suggest to most people who want to be an entrepreneur, go get a job to make enough money to invest in your entrepreneurship, because, these hard years that I've been experiencing, these hard experiences that I've gone through, may not be for everyone. Like, eating rice and gravy may not be for everyone. I was willing to live like shit so that I could focus my efforts and my time on building my businesses. And that again comes down to that hard work, comes down to the sacrifices, yeah, you may have to eat rice and gravy. You may have to eat noodles. You may have to do things that you don't 100% love. You may have to scale back your quality of life to get to the quality of life that you want to get to. And that's very, very important. And as I said, most people just don't want to do that. Most people want to live a comfortable quality of life. And then when they make more money, they upgrade their quality of life and actually they have less money at the end of the day, or they're at the same stage that they were at beforehand. People make more money and then they spend more money, and that is just terrible financial strategy. If you make more money, I understand you spending more money, but then you're not actually making more money when it comes to the end of the month, when it comes to the end of the financial quarter, because you've spent the extra money that you've made. You're still in the same position that you were in when you weren't making more money, but maybe you're just enjoying life a little bit more, which is fair enough if that's what you want to do. But then, don't moan when you're fired or when your business flops and you've got no savings and you've got no money and now you have to start from square one. Like, thinking into the future is another thing that people generally, that I've seen people generally don't do. Like, I see that a lot. People are not thinking far enough into the future. And I understand it may be very difficult for you to do so when you're in that struggle right about now and your every waking moment is thinking about, oh, will I be able to pay my bills this month? Will I be able to eat? All this sort of shit. I went through it and I was thinking on week to week, day to day. You got to take it one day at a time. Now I'm at a place where I can think 3 months in advance, or, let's be real. I plan 3 months in advance what I'm probably going to do, but like the real plan is this 1 month and maybe next month. These are the things that are probably set in stone, but may move around depending on what occurs and what happens and what I see is working. Maybe I double down on that, or what I see is failing. Maybe I stop doing that. And that sort of stuff. And I'm able to work, further into the future and think further into the future. But that long-term thinking is very, very necessary. Even with my YouTube videos and my business and all that sort of stuff, that long-term thinking is what brought me success in that avenue. Like, putting out a video and knowing that in 6 months, it will probably rank and bring in a bunch of views. That has enabled me to continue to go on and continue to create content, even if I put out a video and it only gets 20 views in the first day or in the first week or whatever. I'm not discouraged by that, because I know that in the long term, it's going to do numbers and it's going to bring in more people. It's going to bring in more sales. It's going to do all that sort of stuff because I have the knowledge. But some people don't know that. They don't know that this is what's going to happen. They don't know that patience is necessary. And over the long term, all the work that you put in now can turn into something. And when people don't see those instant results, like if you put in, I don't know, how much is 9 to 10? If you work 9 to 10 for 3 months and you see no results, it can be very disheartening. And I think most people would just give up. Most people would just give up and stop doing it. I think I did that for like 3 to 4 years, maybe, working that hard, like proper going at it, and only now it's starting to pay off and it's starting to pay dividends, because I didn't take shortcuts, because I was broke. I didn't have the money to purchase the education to learn exactly how to do this and how to do that, and to purchase courses and books and all that sort of stuff. I had to learn through trial and error. I had to learn through experience. I had to do all this sort of stuff. But over that time, I learned so much shit, and I realized that the long-term thinking is where it's at, B. And once you convert your mindset around to stop thinking about instant gratification and start thinking about the future, you'll see a lot of things change for you. And you'll see that the work that you put in 6 months ago is now paying you dividends today. And that is really important, because as I said, when it also happens when some people try something new, they think it's going to be successful and it doesn't work, and then they just stop doing that thing. But if they had continued doing that thing for an extra 6 months, then you would have seen that the stuff that they did 6 months ago is now becoming successful, and the stuff that they did yesterday is probably going to bring them success in 6 months. So it's a very, very interesting thing. And I think I learned this when I made my how to write a rap song video. I made that on my YouTube channel. I think it was like 2014 or 15 or something. And it didn't get a lot of views in the first few weeks. I don't even remember how much it got because I wasn't watching it like that. But obviously it didn't do great. And then I eventually looked at it a few months down the line and I saw it had 50,000 views. And I was like, whoa, okay, all right. It was probably the first video that I've seen which popped off like that on my channel. And then, you know, it continued to go up. Now I think it's over 900,000. I haven't really checked it. It may have hit 1 million by the time of me recording this or by the time of me releasing this. But I realized from that it's not about the first week views. It's not about what happens in the first month. It's about what happens over the long term. It's about creating these assets which will bring you income over time and continue to bring you traffic and views and subscribers and all this sort of stuff that you need to run a real business. Well, you don't need subscribers, but you know what I'm talking about. All the metrics that you're aiming for in order to run a successful business, these sort of things will come in over time as you be consistent, and consistency is so important. People just aren't consistent enough. You gotta be consistent. You gotta be consistent with a vengeance. Like, you really gotta be the most consistent person out there. Like, when I started making my Arc server tutorial videos, I was the most consistent person out there. There was already people who had created Arc server tutorial videos. People who had created maybe 4 of them, maybe 1 of them, maybe even 10 of them, although I haven't seen anyone that made 10 of them. But I was out here and I was like, yo, I'm going in. And you know what I did? I made, I think, around 40 videos by December. And I started in September releasing those videos. I think, I'm not 100% sure this was the actual number, but I was releasing at least 3 videos a week. Sometimes doing 5. I think that was the maximum because I didn't want to go over that and just overextend myself. But I went in. And now people look at me as the expert in setting up their Arc server their Arc servers, and they come to me to set up their servers. They purchase my codes. Like, they know that I know what I'm talking about because I was so consistent. I delivered a bunch of content which showed people how to do this stuff for free, which showed them that I knew what I was talking about and gave them results. And then later down the line, when I was like, hey, you know, I've started, you know, selling these codes. If you want to set up your server really, really quickly in minutes, then just download this code, copy and paste it, blah, blah, blah. It'll save you a bunch of time. Now people are way more willing to actually go down that path and to make a purchase with me because they know that I know what I'm talking about. But it all started with that consistency. And now, as I said, people look at me as an expert in that genre, this niche. And that's what you need to do. You need to become an expert in your niche, and that is done through consistency, through super hard work, through continually doing the work. And you can make a business out of anything. You can do what you love for a living. Trust me, it is possible as long as you're willing to learn, you're willing to put the work in, and you're willing to be consistent and make sacrifices. If I told you a year ago, or if someone told me a year ago that I could make money from setting up people's Arc servers, that wasn't even possible a year ago, I don't believe, because Nitrado hadn't released their Arc servers. But I wouldn't have taken it seriously. I wouldn't have thought that I'd be selling codes and stuff because I'm not a coder. Let's be real, I'm not a coder. I've just learned how to code these servers now over making all those videos and answering people's questions. I learned a bunch of knowledge because I had to go and learn how to do these things to answer people's questions. And now I have all the knowledge, and some people who don't want to waste the time learning all that knowledge would rather come to me and have me do it for them. So you could make a business out of whatever you want, whatever you enjoy, whatever you are comfortable with. Like, you can make a business out of it. Like, there are people making businesses out of, I don't even know. I can't even make a suggestion right about now, but pretty much anything. I made a business out of my YouTube channel, like, because I run a YouTube gaming channel. I grew it. Now I know how to grow a YouTube gaming channel. I made a book to tell people how to grow their YouTube gaming channel. I'm going to make courses to show people how to grow their YouTube gaming channel. Like, if you know anything, you can make a business out of it. And if you're willing to learn and you're willing to put that timing to learn more than other people and learn from multiple sources, then you can create a product which will help people learn something in an easy way. And if you focus on that customer experience and you focus on a specific audience and helping them do something, then you can find success. And yeah, I just want to give you guys the information that you can do it. It is possible. You can pull yourself up by your bootstraps. I do believe that everyone has the potential to do that, although I believe some people simply don't want to, and they don't want to make the sacrifices, and they won't. And that is the case. Everyone isn't cut out for this. Everyone isn't gonna, ascend to the upper peaks of society. Everyone isn't gonna make 100K or a million or all that sort of stuff. It's not going to happen for everyone, but it is possible for everyone. It doesn't matter where your circumstances are right about now. You could be living in the most dire circumstances. It is possible. If you're listening to this podcast, then it's possible for you. If you're living in a third world country or you're in your communist country, then it may be a little different. I'm not talking to those individuals. Those individuals are dealing with a completely different problem over there. But if you're in a capitalist society and you have internet, if you have internet and you're moaning, you are going mad. You are mad. The opportunities out here are endless. You really just need to do a deep dive and learn. The opportunities are really, really endless. They're out here for you. So please put that work in. Please understand that it's possible for you if you want to. And I hope this has given you some inspiration to go and chase your goals. And remember, be patient, fail frequently, and learn from your mistakes. And don't worry about what other people think about you, because their opinions don't matter if they're not paying your bills. And I hope this helps. And I will continue to put out educational content that will help you build a business and help you get to where you want to get to. And yeah, I hope I can help you get there. Be sure to leave a comment down below. Let me know your thoughts on this subject. Do you think that anyone can make it with hard work? Again, even if you're in poverty, if you lost a leg, all that sort of shit, if you see anyone else that looks like you, that's been through your circumstances, that has become successful, you can do it too. No excuses. No excuses. There's no, I don't have the time. That's an excuse. That just means you're not prioritizing it, because everyone's got the time. Everyone's got the same 24 hours in the day. If you put 1 hour a day into building your business and working towards your goals, it will take longer, but you'll get there eventually. If you're just saying, I don't have the time, so you don't put any hours, any minutes into this shit at all, then you'll never move forward towards that goal. That's just the way it works. That's the way the cookie crumbles. The world is how it is. If you sit around trying to live in the world that you want to live in, if you try to operate based on how you wish the world worked, it's not going to work out for you. You need to operate based on how the world is. And when you operate from that perspective, then you can shape the world and shape it to what you want it to be. And that is very, very important and very, very powerful. So I really want you guys to dispel all excuses, to realize that everything is your fault, to take responsibility for anything that happens, your failures, your successes, everything. Take responsibility, because when you take responsibility, you open yourself up to a lot more opportunities, because instead of blaming other people and saying, it's someone else's fault, that's why it didn't work out, you look at yourself and you say, it's my fault, that's why it didn't work out, let me figure out how I can make it work. And you look for more solutions instead of just saying, there's a problem, I can't do it. Get rid of that I can't mentality. Instead of saying I can't, say I could if I learned how. That is how you should be approaching things. I could if I learned how. So I hope this has helped you out. That's going to be the end of this podcast. I'll see you guys in the next episode. Be sure to comment down below, share, review, all that sort of stuff. And yeah, peace out. If you want to learn how I got over 23,000 subscribers and millions of views on my YouTube gaming channel, then you are in luck. Sign up to this free course right now. Link will be in the card, in the description, and in the pinned comment. Or go to growonyoutube.com/20K SEO course. In this course, you will learn the best way to write your video titles, tags, and descriptions to help you rank on the first page of YouTube. It's simple when you know what to do. I'll also show you a hack that will help you choose the right key phrases and help you create videos that can rank and get views no matter what game you play. Stop struggling to grow your YouTube gaming channel and start doing what works. Click on the link in the description or go to growonyoutube.com/20k SEO course. This course will not be up forever, so get in there as soon as possible. I hope to see you here soon, and I wish you the best of luck on your journey of turning your passion into your career.
It's been a cold winter and it's lasted far too long. So all this warmth I share with you,